Hello, my name is Zak-Kelmeckis. I am Latrice's husband, and she asked me to answer some of these questions. This has been a passion of mine for a long time. Social welfare, treating people correctly. I equate myself to being a Christian, and Jesus gave to the poor. He didn't hang around rich people. He hung around the prostitutes and the sinners, right? And he was our first activist, at least in my world of growing up. So trying to be and doing right, if it's whoever religious aspect of it is, Buddha or Jesus, or if you're a Hindu, it's coming to these principles of social activism and giving poor people a chance and people of lower class a chance. So the question that was that I am answering now is economic and political empowerment, and it says how do social workers assist in the redistribution of social power? And this is one that I'm going to delve into on a personal basis. I actually did something personally to try to empower a social class, a lower social class. I work for the oil and gas industry. I work for a Fortune 3 company. And we have monies to give for programs. And I met a lady that was asking me if I would be willing to help her get funds for the program. The program was called Mentors. It was going to inner cities, getting black guys the chance to work in the oil field. If you go to the oil field, there's very few people of color, black dudes, and working in the oil field. She caught me on this. And again, I try to pretend I'm enlightened, but living in the United States and the way our social system's set up, catering to white men, it is almost impossible. I'm blinded by that system. And she had a picture up on the wall of the Marcellus Shale Coalition. And she said, "What is wrong with this picture?" And I'm looking at all the people in there, and again, this is kind of a setup for an easy answer. And I'm looking and looking, and I finally gave up, and I said, "Oh, what's the problem?" It was all white men. No women and no minorities. And of course I didn't see a problem with it right away, because I'm a white guy, right? It's like, well, what's the problem? So we talked about it at length, and I worked in the field. Not in the office, but actually would go to the field quite a bit. And a strange thing happened with me being married to a black woman. I became the black orb. People knew that my significant other was black, so they would ask me questions about black people, like somehow I would know, which I didn't, right? So that whole thing came together. I knew the need. I saw the lack of minorities out there, and I went to my company and I said, "Hey, I got a great opportunity for Chevron to make a difference. It's a 6 weeks program working mainly on soft skills, and we'll donate, I think it was $500,000 for the program, and then renew it when needed." And something magical happened with the program. Nice article, a couple nice articles in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, but it's an extremely high retention rate. The average pay rate is between $80,000 and $100,000 in the oil field. It pays great with great benefits, and that to me, we're talking about economic empowerment. It's not going and trying to start a social program. It's actually going out in a micro scale and making a difference on 20, 30, 40 people, 100. I mean, it's growing exponentially. But that's how I think we should start thinking too, is making that impact personally, instead of stepping back and saying, what program can we make nationally or statewide? The Marcellus Shale, let's make something for the Marcellus Shale to get minorities into the oil field. And like I said, it's a 90% retention rate, and that's for the program for the last, I think, 3 years. And these guys have to come back. The problem, or I saw the challenge of it, is being the only black person, in the oil field. The problem I saw that was creeping up was the questions that these guys would get. And to give you an ignorant question, somebody would ask me, do black people have extra ligaments in their leg because they could jump so high? And I am part of the course. I teach a 4-hour session, and it's being black in the oil field. And I said, because I get the questions only because of my wife. So they're going to get the questions. And I said, now, you're empowered, you're going to make a great living, and you're going to have to help these guys understand that there is no difference. It's just you have more pigmentation in your skin. And I said, there's 3 ways you can answer these questions. You can get pissed off and upset. You can joke around with them and lure them on and say, yeah, I got 2 extra ligaments. Or 3, you can educate them, right? No. I'm a human being. Why would I have an extra ligament? Why would you ask that question? And there was a lot of questions that came up. And when they come back, they said it was very important, that question of or that 4-hour discussion that we had, because that does come up. And it's shocking at first. You're like, whoa, you know, this guy's racist. No, he's not very bright. And social ills, social enigmas, that there is no black people in the whole oil field no matter where you look. And I tell them, you will be part of the brotherhood. You will no longer be the black guy in the oil field after 2 weeks. You'll be part of a family called oil field workers. And they are, and we're bringing more and more people in. So when you talk about how a social worker can empower, I think that they need to get more than academia. It's getting to grassroots. What Obama did, getting to those neighborhoods and starting there. We've changed 100 lives. We'll change 100 more. And they're bringing people now in on their own. They don't need to go through the program. The brother will bring them in. So I think that is how we empower economically. We do one person at a time in the neighborhood that we live in. Thank you.